Alright. I would say, hold on a second, let me wait. I gotta wait till they come back here. But for right now, we're just waiting a little bit, and then we're gonna get started here. Get started on hand once they come back. Oh, hey, welcome back. Now, you're all good. You're all good. You're all good here. You're all good.
I flew across the room trying to pick my controllers back
Nah,
up.
you're all good. You're all good on hand. It's all good. But for right now, to let you know on hand, hello, everybody. This is episode 50, almost said 56. Well, damn, we jumped high. Episode 46 of Shoot the Breeze, a chill interview and chill time around for you and me. I'm your host, HeavyDivider. Alongside me is, well, very, very shy but nice individual. Very nice, but for the most part, a very good person you can always talk to, as well as just, being able to hang out and just chill with. My guest for tonight is Esdesu, but I'm pretty sure they call you I believe they call you Esdesu for short, right?
Yeah, Esdesu.
Yeah, Esdesu for short. There we go. On hand. So, let's go ahead and get started right off the back by, let me ask you this. How the hell did we meet?
What's it? We talked about this a little bit beforehand, and we had two separate answers, actually.
Yeah.
Because I remember meeting you as early as during the whole Nags YouTube RP kind of scenario. I remember you being a very dapper Iron Man model.
Yeah. Funny enough, I was not actually there for the Nags era kind of RP on hand, but I was there for a little bit before it transfers over to the whole PokeLost Twitch era and everything. Like, I came in like November. I remember I came in like November of 2017 at that time or so. And as for being like Dapper Iron Man and everything, I think I came in about like March of 2018 with that avatar and everything. So there's a chance we might actually bump into each other when we least expect it, because I don't even remember actually meeting you at certain points, except for that one time, which I remember was basically through Cindy Supreme. It was like in that near Automata flower.
In the Automata flowers.
Yeah, flowers. Yeah, I remember meeting you there. So yeah, I remember that on hand.
Wasn't Hawks there too? Actually?
Hawks?
I think I remember that. Exactly.
It was you, me, City, a few others. Hawks' repping came by, and Darth came by, and we were just sitting down having a conversation about whatever it was underneath the sun. So
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was all happening in that one place.
Like, there's no way. I've known you way longer than that.
I mean, it might have been like a brief moment.
That's the first time we actually sat down and talked, but
yeah, first time we ever sat down and talked, like actually having a full-on conversation. But yeah, if it might have been back then, we might have actually just bumped into each other, never have a conversation about whatever it is. But yeah, this is the first time, so first time on hand.
I mean, true. I think we also, I actually remember us being a part of charity events together.
Yeah, funny enough, it's the exact same thing that happened with Dr. Puppers, where basically we met more times, we just never talked to each other. Like, I met him all the way through the first Toys for Tots charity event, and for you, I met through charity events like Toys for Tots charity event. It's just we never talked to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all in like the first Toys for Tots charity event together and everything.
Yep.
So it was like we all knew of each other, we just never really sat down and talked.
Yeah, never sat down. It's a weird small world on hand, but yeah, pretty much like that. So, but yeah, I will say on hand, let me ask about your VRChat origins. What got you into this game?
I'm gonna be honest, some random dude on my friends list. It's actually like the lamest reason, because a lot of people were saying like, oh, I used to watch Nags on YouTube and that got me into VRChat. Oh, I used to watch like PokeLols and all these different people playing. I literally kept seeing one of my friends on Steam playing a game called VRChat. He was the only person on my friends list that played it, because this was like early 2017. And I don't remember who it was, but I kept on looking at it, and I eventually just got curious. I was like, what is this game? Like, I mean, it obviously has VR in the name, but I don't have VR, so I'll look at it, I'll pull it up, and be like, oh, you can just play it in desktop. Oh, cool. Download it, hop on. There's just a bunch of like in the old hub, and just a whole bunch of like random people walking around. And this was before like friend lobbies, private lobbies, all that stuff. So everything was just public. And I got to meet some of my best friends just from the first like few weeks of playing the game, just because I got curious of one of my friends playing it. And I wouldn't know any of the people I would know today if I didn't. So
Yeah, there you
big
go.
shouts to the one random guy on my friends list that I don't even remember.
Yeah, that one random guy just changed your life.
That, but
yeah, just changed your life on hand.
he really did.
Yeah, there you go. Change your life on hand for what you got. Let me ask you about your hobbies on hand besides this game in general. Now, I put down a few things, because this is what I've noticed on hand you played, being like Dead by Daylight. I put down Apex Legends because apparently everybody else is playing Apex Legends, since I've noticed that on hand. I know for a fact you played Monster Hunter World. I remember that, because I actually remember rating it that one time during the charity event you were doing that. But besides that, what are your hobbies besides, like, outside of VRC in general?
Oh, I just spend all my time in Discord hanging out with the boys and playing any kind of games I can. I have fun if I'm with people. So usually, like, it doesn't matter really the game as long as I have people to play with. I just kind of throw up a game, get the boys in, and we just have fun. That's what I do, like 90% of the time, besides watching YouTube on the side. But other than that, I'm just playing co-op games, because those are my favorite. Actually, co-op games are my favorite.
Oh yeah,
because you can just sit here and there's no sweat involved. It's just dudes having fun.
Yeah, you know, just
that's what I love the most.
Yeah, just dudes having fun, just basically trying to work together. Sometimes maybe shitpost with one another, but either way, just working together direct objection. I will say, any fun YouTubes you found? Funny YouTube videos, or just a little bit of anything?
Oh my god. Lately, I've been on an XQC binge. I'm not gonna lie. Confession time, no. I've just been watching a whole lot of XQC.
I got you.
I find the GTA RP. I didn't have any interest in it beforehand, but I've been watching his GTA RP videos and stuff, and I've had so many like moments of hysterical laughter watching that stuff. And you get wrapped up in the story of the whole thing, and I just wait every day for him to upload videos. I sit there and they're like hour-long videos. I'll just sit there in one sitting and watch all of it, and then I realize, oh wait, I have stuff to do.
Yeah. I got you. I got you on hand. I mean, hey, everybody's got their own kind of like humor on hand. Plus, no, it's not humor, but just also like there's certain things that would just capture your mind for what you can look at here and there. Sometimes you kind of wonder exactly what's going on here. So that's what you got for the most part. So, but
and also like actually very recently I've actually gotten back in the swing of watching anime again.
Hey,
because I took a very long hiatus on that.
Well, I was gonna say that's gonna be one of the questions later on, so you kind of like jumping all the way over there. So yeah, we will be talking about anime. I can promise you, him. Nah, you're good. You're good. You're all good. You're all good for the most part. Let me ask you about the VRChat scene. Now, when you first started VRC, from where you are or so, basically from where you are when you first started all the way over to where we are present time on hand, what is your current thoughts about the VRC in general right now in this present time? Like. So,
like right now?
Yeah, right now. Like currently, like where we are at this moment in time with VRC in general.
Oh, I don't really think about it that much, but I will say that like we're in like the height of creativity, like that we've ever had with the introduction of like Udon and stuff like that. I mean, it's actually crazy. Plus, also the game has more users than it's ever had before. That's a whole lot of potential talent getting into things. And hell, I mean, just before I got in the interview, I was talking with an avatar creator of mine. He was talking about his passion, how he used to have a passion for DIY kind of projects he would do at home, and then he found VRChat later. And he found out that, yeah, the game was cool, but he found the user content creation to be a whole lot more of his thing. And he started to love avatar making because it was more of a DIY thing. Like, minus like sculpting your own stuff. If you find parts, you can mix, match, customize, make them work, kind of thing. And that really spoke to him. And you get a whole lot of people like that, especially now since with the whole pandemic. Everything, people are staying home, they're finding ways to occupy themselves. I think VRChat got a big boom out of that too. So, I mean, you got a lot of people staying at home with nothing to do, and it gives them outlet for creativity. So that's why I think we're at the height right now of creativity in VR chat.
Oh yeah, and not only
I think it's in a pretty good place. I mean, everything, it has its problems.
I mean, everything's gonna have.
Really you can do without that.
Yeah, everything's gonna have their problems here and there for the most part, but weirdly enough, with how people have been able to experiment, especially with Udon in general, they pull off some very interesting stuff with it or so. Like being able to actually drive a car in virtual reality like you are in real life.
Yeah.
So
Udon seems to be like a really cool system. Hell, I learned how to play Mahjong today with one of my friends, and he told me that there's actually a world in VR chat with working Udon table or Udon tables where you can play Mahjong with other people or with AI. Like, I'm gonna check that out later, definitely, because I literally this morning went from what the hell is Mahjong, and now I got a decent grasp on it.
Okay.
And I'm just like, wow, this is actually kind of addicting to play.
I might actually have a look at it when I get a chance too. I mean, see what we got going on.
I will spar you in a good old friendly match of Mahjong.
I mean, we can't. I mean, if you want to try it out after the interview, we can do that. I mean, because again, I like to world explore, just taking like mini.
Yeah.
Because I like to look at world explore, look at worlds and look at the atmosphere. Like when you get like atmosphere like this world in general, like it's just nice to take in. Like just nice to take in on hand, just see everything. Yeah, that's what I enjoy most about it. But let me.
It's like one of my favorite aesthetics, by the way, is Rainy Night City.
Yeah.
It's actually just one of my favorites.
Yeah, just rain.
It's such a calming thing for me.
Yeah, very common on hand. Plus, it's a good chill world. Just be able to sit down, talk with everybody, and just be able, just have a good time, no matter how long the night goes.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Let me ask about the part. Okay, now let me ask about the party scene on VRC. Now, I understand I'm not much of a party person when it comes to it. It's mostly because I can talk to anybody on hand here, but besides that, not much to really sit around and just kind of like drinking a lot here and there. But I will say, from your experience on hand, especially for VRC in general, especially being the different places here and there, because I know you've been at a lot of Fox's parties on hand. I also know for the fact that depending on whose birthday it is, like, it could be Beta Dash's birthday again, that basically everybody will be there just to chill. Again. I mean, I'm pretty sure if it was again his birthday, he'd be more happy than anything else. But
Yeah.
yeah, but
Birthday parties are the best.
But yeah, I will say from the many different parties you might have been on hand here and there, is like, what is it like? Because I know everybody's got their own like signature thing of how they do things. I mean, because you can't go from the traditional, assassin calling for shots to basically, depending on what people have planned on here and there. What is your experience like, from what you can share?
From what I can share. I like how you put that. But I don't know. It's just a good time, man. Like I don't really sit around for like 6 to 8 hours. I'll hop on for like 2 or 3. Go around, talk to people, because I don't know, people have like new models and stuff they want to show off. Everyone's drinking. It's a good social lubricant. Everyone gets to talk about things they no one wouldn't really talk about. Usually to a lot of our events, we either have no folks' club has a custom mix that he got from one of his friends who's a DJ. And for my friend Ambush's birthday party, which was this past weekend, we actually got Invad and some other people to come in and do live DJs on streams and stuff. So you have that variety and like background music and stuff, seeing people you normally don't get to see, because I don't know, as of recently I've kind of found a place I'm very comfy with, like a group, because before I would just kind of drift around everywhere. I got to talk to a whole bunch of different people, but I've gotten real comfortable with one group, so I normally just hang out with them. And on the weekends, whenever the party scene happens, I get to see a whole lot of people that I'm friends with but I haven't talked to in a while, and it's always a nice refresher.
Very refreshing, especially when you could just connect with that group, and basically it's kind of like one of those things where you could just joke around, you could basically just like have a good time. And plus, not only that, it's one of those things where when you have that good connection with that group on hand or so, it's one of those things where like whatever you find funny, they probably will find funny too, just for it, because you guys got like that sense of humor for the most part. Because that's the thing. When you get a group with a sense of humor like you, and basically you're able to do a lot of different stuff together, or so, it just solidifies it as more than just a group. It becomes a family in a way, kind of like a miniature family.
I love my family.
Yeah, I love my family too. Family on hand. But
what about you? How have you been doing with the parties lately?
Parties? To explain on hand, when it comes to parties on hand, from what I've discovered on hand, it's like, I can talk to somebody, singular, for the most part, but when it comes to, like, trying to talk to them when you get, like, so many people around you, it's hard to really have a conversation sometimes. Because you get, like, 20 other people talking to each other, which, again, that always baffles me, how people are able to talk to one another and not basically be able to hear one another, you know? That always hurts my ears for some reason. With it.
It's all about the selective hearing.
Yeah, so like...
Also, I mean, usually people are drinking during that. It makes it a whole lot easier to kind of deal with all the extra noise.
Yeah, that may be it on hand. It's just, again, it's one of those things... But, go ahead.
One of the common things I hear is if you go to, like, a drinking party or a drinking event, especially if it's, like, a couple hours into it, where a lot of people join, a lot of people have been drinking. If you're not, and you're like sober, it's hard to stay in there because it's so loud. There's a whole bunch of people talking. Some people are drunk and slurring and screaming and stuff like that. It's a whole lot easier if you're doing it along with them because it's a lot easier to filter things out and, you know, just adds to the chaotic energy of the room.
Yeah,
but otherwise it's really hard.
Which, funny enough, you say chaotic energy because it's kind of like one of my things when it comes to conversations in general. Like, if I'm in a room with full people I don't know here and there or so, I would actually try to feel the room out, figure out what kind of person this is personality-wise, like for energy of how they project it. And when you're in a room with party people on hand, it's kind of hard to do because it's all over the place sometimes. So it's like, you know, who can I talk to? You know, okay, I'll say hello to this person, talk a little bit, and then I just go out my way or so. You know, it's kind of like that. I think it's just a lot to take in for the most part. But when you're drinking or so, you can take it all in because it just like it flows, and then kind of like this, you know, flows anywhere. You move like water, pretty much.
No, it's definitely also a case of like sensory overload is a really good way to put it.
Yes, yeah.
It's sensory overload if you're sober. If you're drunk, it's a lot of it just falls on deaf ears. So you know, not as overload.
Yeah, especially when you're talking to somebody and you can't help but just basically start looking around because you hear somebody saying something and it's just kind of like, you know, redirecting your attention to like everything else because of what you're hearing. But hey,
you just pick up a conversation on the other side of the room. You're just like,
yeah, especially just trying to focus on the one you got. But yeah, overall, you know, it's just, you know, filling things out. That's how it is. Just fill the room out a little bit. And then once you kind of get used to the energies around you, or basically, if it's with a group of friends you already know from personality to personality, you can already feel things out. Just be able to get used to people here and there. So, but yeah.
Yeah, at that point you just wait for shit post openings.
Yeah, just for that to happen on hand. But let me ask you about my next thing. That's being old VRC memories. Now, when I say old VRC memories, it's like when you close your eyes and picture on hand, like what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Like it could be a funny moment, it could be like a moment that kind of sticks with you over time. It could be just something that really brains together on, you know, your whole experience of how you enjoyed VRC for the longest period of time.
That's a tough one, but definitely one of the things is like I said, like 2017. Where it's definitely a thing where you're in this new environment, right? Never been in VR before, never been in this game before, and everything's open. Yeah, you got a little bit of, you know, annoying people in the room, but you find a whole lot of connections with random people. And I remember meeting like Nags or Joey Bagels, like Ashanera, Jacoba, Ryan, a bunch of other people that are more prominent today. But I just remember just running into them in Publix and just having a conversation, shooting jokes, doing dumb things together. And building friendships. And I don't know, it was more of just, I don't want to say like the Wild West, but you know, it was just very, you know, there were a couple lobbies, they were completely public, and you know, you could just find whoever in there.
Yeah.
And that's one of my earliest memories I can think of.
I got you. I mean, because back then it's like you didn't have to worry about just like, you know, people trying to like crash you, or like people just to, because whenever you go into like, say when you go into like a pug or anything, you can have you can have like an improv RP or something with somebody on hand doing whatever it is, like behind the bar or anything. But past that, you'd be able to get a chance to know people, whoever comes by or so. And it's one of those things where now I look back on it, it's like there's people who I got a chance to be able to hang out with group wise or so, and then be able to, as the more I basically be in this game, the more, you know, those people kind of move on to do whatever they gotta do. But it's nice to be able to think back on certain stuff like that, you know? So.
Yeah, true.
So.
It was definitely more like, because now, like I said, we have like Udon and stuff. We have, a lot of people like to sit in chill worlds, watch movies and stuff like that. Well, before those were a thing, it was more of a make your own fun kind of deal, either through your model designs and having wacky memes on your avatar, like Lullathon and stuff like that. I have some really good memories of meeting Lullathon. Like, that was really fun. I watched my friend get jump kicked in the face by Phil Swift.
Jeez. Like,
but
oh god, no,
go ahead.
No. It's just, here's the thing. It's like I briefly only met Lullathon. Like the only time that was when basically he was like Dr. Hacks or something, where he threw a computer screen at me. But that was about it. Past that or so, when it came to like being introduced to like meme avatars or thing, the only person who I've got a chance to be able to see it for is a person by the name of Greyliff. Be able to see that for
Greyliff.
Yeah, Greyliff. He really talented individual, knows how to make models, knows how to make really good particle effects on hand. It was that, and also there was a legend behind that, especially from the James Key videos, one Burchacho. So.
Oh damn.
Yeah, trust me, that was a long time ago, which I was lucky enough to be able to meet the guy. And funny enough, he was in an Iron Man avatar too. So I was like, oh, nice. But yeah, kind of like brief things, because weirdly enough, now that we talk about that, there's actually like different groups on hand for VRC. Like basically, whoever you met on your side or so, I probably have never got a chance to meet on my side when I first started out at all.
Yeah, and likewise, you probably know a lot of people I don't.
And it's weird because it's like it's like a small community, but it's divided in its own different kind of groups of who kind of introduced you into VRC. You know who introduced you to it. So, which is funny on hand.
VRChat's got a bunch of different groups in it.
Definitely. Very definitely on hand. And plus, even if it's divided up or basically splits in its own like fracture groups on hand, it somehow comes together depending on what the event is. Could be New Year's Eve, could be like somebody's birthday, could be like a certain event on hand, no matter what it is. Just to be able to bring it together. So,
I mean, yeah.
So, but
it's the charm of being social.
Yeah. And get a chance to know people's personalities before you ever get a chance to meet them in real life, you know? Once you know the personalities, doesn't matter what they look like.
It's always a good plus.
Good plus on hand. But, let me ask about the VRChat Current Present. Now, I asked previously before about, right now, what do you think of it? But let me ask about this. Compared to your first day going to VRC to where we are now, what are some of the things you're glad that they changed over the course of that time to some of the things you wish they didn't change at all? It could be something security-wise. It could be something like trend-wise, depending on what it is.
Good question. I'm definitely glad that they gave a whole lot more like customization things you can do. Like I said, the creative outlet, stuff like that. Able to build it more into a social game. With the growth that it's seen, obviously the security is going to be an issue. It could be better.
Yeah.
They have done a lot in terms of security, but it needs more. But I'm not going to sit here and be a stickler and tell them how to do their jobs, because I don't know how to do their job. But, other than that, I mean, I'm just glad I can be here, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I don't really have a whole bunch of like. I don't know. It's just been a good process through and through. Like from the beginning when it was real simple, and now it's grown so much. That has its good sides and downsides.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be here than not. So
I got you.
I'm happy where I am.
Plus, it's still one of those games on hand that still baffles me with the fact that basically, you and I could be from 2 different continents right now, yet we're able to still talk to one another. Like it's this close, face to face, close on hand, virtual conversation
not
on
like a webcam.
Not like a webcam.
Not like a webcam against the screen, but like.
Yeah.
I could just touch your face.
Pretty much that. Pretty much that on hand. So. But yeah, it's kind of like that. Like that for the most part. Is there anything you're looking forward towards for where VRC may be going?
Ooh. Their recent dev stream thing had me a little bit excited. Between like the new dynamic bone replacers, so hopefully that'll help with frame rates in parties and stuff like that. What else? Accessibility and like customization of your quick menu, which is really needed like an overhaul anyway, because that's what you look at most of the time whenever you're not sitting here socializing. What else did they say they're gonna do? It's been a minute since I heard about it.
Funny enough, the last thing I heard is that they were gonna add like not body collider, but they were gonna add colliders to where basically, like, say if you have a tail or anything, or you have ears, basically you can actually move your hand.
No.
You can have the ability to do that, which, you know, there's good and bad things that will come out of that, but
certain communities are gonna have a ball with that.
pretty much with how VRC is, it'll probably happen. It's no way to rule it out, but yeah, they're gonna add that on hand, which I think is also gonna be used for like world purposes on hand, to where, say if you were trying to interact with an object on it, instead of basically going to where it's highlighted and it's clicking on it, you can actually basically move your hand,
like poke it and stuff.
Yeah, poke it. Yep.
Yeah, it'll automatically like put colliders in like your fingers and stuff, like whenever you make the avatar, and those are gonna have like world colliders. So you'll be able to like push blocks and buttons, physically push buttons and stuff like that. I would be surprised if they make functioning guns with actual triggers and stuff too, like stuff like that. Actual collider interactions.
Funny enough, there's actually a gun world somebody made where basically it functions like it's Pavlov, where you have how you got to reload the gun and basically just be able to pull the bolt action or be able to do it on hand. There's an actual world for it. Like they were able to get it to work.
That's so good.
Yeah, I could show you it too. I could definitely show you it on hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to see it.
So now let's talk about anime. Now we can talk about anime on hand. So, no, you're good. You're good. There's a 3-part question to this on hand that I was going to ask you with anime. So let me put it this way: when I say the word anime, what's the first series that comes to your mind?
The most recent one I watched is 86.
86.
It's a currently airing one. I'm liking it. I mean, it's pretty good.
I got you.
What about you?
Anime wise or so. It's kind of hard for me to say because in fact I've been busy a lot of places on hand. But lately, I have been watching, depending on what was the name of it. It was by random chance I encountered it on hand. Damn, the name escapes me because it was how it was described on hand. But understand, it's kind of hard to find certain anime. It's kind of hard to remember certain animes here and there from it. Like you gotta find time to sit down and do it. For me personally, I've been all over the place with what I gotta do. But when I be able to find time, I'll make sure to try to let you know what the name of it was. I might have to go look back at my certain website to be able to find it. So, but
yeah. And before that, like I watched Demon Slayer actually for the first time.
Demon Slayer, okay.
Watched that and the movie, and I love them. I love them so much. And now I'm actually genuinely like talking myself into actually reading the manga for the rest of it because I enjoyed it that much. Didn't think I would.
I can't.
I was like, oh, it's another mainstream overhyped thing, whatever.
I
I
can't.
watched it. I'm like, oh fuck, this is really good.
I think I can. I think the last thing I can say is like it's besides the anime I can't think of on hand. I think the previous one I watched previous beforehand was like Dragon Ball Z Super during the whole Tournament of Power thing. I think that might have been I meant they kind of yeah, that might be the last one I could think of off the top of my head. So just the top of my head of what I've actually sat down and watched. But besides like anything else extra or so, I haven't got a chance to really sit down and watch, mostly because of how busy I can get with certain stuff, workaholic tendencies. But either way, it is what it is. With that, let me ask. Second question I have on hand is: if you ever had a top 3 or top 5 anime series that comes to your mind, it's gonna be hard. But if you can't name like numbers for it or so, it could be just like whatever. What are your favorites that comes to your mind? What anime series you watch?
What are my favorites?
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy Fire Force a lot. The sound design in that one was actually super good. The soundtracks were bangers. What else? Demon Slayer has to be up there now. It's without a doubt. This one might get a kind of spicy take from some people because I've heard good and bad. Aud Noah Zero. I don't remember. Hold on, I'm gonna rewatch it again. Some people didn't like how it ended. I once again, I like it for the music. I have found a lot of love for certain animes, and I found a common thing in them is the music. And Hiroyuki Sawano, I'm just a massive Hiroyuki Sawano fan. Any music that man composes is just awesome. Like. Because he's not like a singer, he's just a composer. He writes out the music, and it's just, you know it whenever you hear it. And a lot of my favorite animes actually have him doing the soundtracks for them. Attack on Titan's also another really good one.
Didn't they have a season finale?
Finding a number 5 though.
Or like a final season finale of it? Attack on Titan, or am I just imagining things? Because I could have sworn it did.
They did do the final season, but they finished part 1 of the final season. They're taking a hiatus to finish part 2.
Interesting.
Of the final season.
Interesting idea.
Yeah. Because apparently the ending of it got leaked ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
So the maker of it decided, alright, so you want to leak the ending? We tried to make it happy. But because you guys leaked it, no, we're rewriting it and we're gonna make it very miserable.
Oh boy.
So they have to rewrite the ending because it got leaked ahead of time.
Well, damn. Well, that sucks.
Yep.
That sucks on hand.
Leakers, man.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna find people here. You're gonna find people here that do that for the most part. My final one to that is, what is the anime that hits you close to home? Like, when you watch it and everything, like, you could just feel it, like, it relates to you hard.
That's a rough one. I'm very easy, like a crybaby. So like
very emotional.
Yeah, I'm very emotional when it comes to anything really. So I don't know. It's very easy for me to put myself in someone else's shoes. And so in a whole lot of anime actually, whenever there's actually sad moments, I can understand it and I can feel it and I'm like, and stuff like that. So trying to pick one that hit me real hard is difficult.
I got you. Well, I could put a twist to it. Say,
also, I've seen so many over the past like 10, 12 years. It kind of gets foggy.
Now, I could put a twist to it where basically, depending on if you even want to answer or not, what can it be an anime that can relate to you, like in your life or so? Something that you relate to.
Relate to me in my life. I don't think I have an answer for that one.
Don't have an answer for that one? No, it's all good. It's all good.
I don't have an answer for that
No,
one.
it's all good. It was just kind of an idea, because that way, just kind of like, you know, even it out a little bit, just so it'd be easy for you to answer what kind of anime comes to your mind or so. Idea on hand.
Yeah,
so,
I've never really thought about that. It is definitely something to go back and think about.
But this actually leads me to my final question. As you can see here, I have this camera right here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna back up a little bit and give you center stage for this. But pretty much, you can move a little bit here. There we go. There you go. Now you're good. Yeah, perfect. Perfect centered. But the question I want to ask you is this. What are your goals and dreams? And at best, what is the best advice you can ever give to anybody? I'm going to back up. I'm going to let you have center stage for this.
That's an awful hard-hitting question. When it comes to my dreams and my aspirations, I definitely I live too much in the moment on a moment-to-moment basis to really think too far ahead, because the future's uncertain. Things don't always go your way. So I kind of learned early on, it's just better to kind of live it day by day and try to make the best of it that you can. Try to make someone else's day better is definitely like a highlight of what I try to do. As long as I'm making people happy, I'm feeling good. Other than that, I'm just kind of feeling my way through life and everything. I'm not really good at making goals. If I had to give advice for somebody, I would say, just take a step back and relax, man. Like, it's good to have your grind and have your own dreams and aspirations you need to work for, but don't get so caught up in that, and don't get so caught up in it to where you forget to live in the now. Like, don't lose now, because now is constantly slipping away, if that makes sense. You're losing time that you're not going to get back, so you need to make the most of it. And also, try to make someone smile today. That's my advice.
I got you. Good solid advice on hand. Yeah, simple advice on hand, but good sound advice for positivity and everything in general. That's the thing. So, let me look at here on hand. Does anybody in chat want to ask Desu a question? Anybody got any questions for Desu on hand? Wow! But, wow! I will ask on hand, the name Desu. Where exactly does that come from? Esdesu.
Esdesu. It actually came from one of my old favorite anime at the time, Akamega Kill. One of the antagonists. The antagonist's name was Esdeath.
Okay, I got you.
Esdesu.
Esdesu. Hey, there you go.
So actually, kind of the story behind why specifically Esdesu was I had my name as General Esdeath, and I tried to join an Arma 3 milsim unit, and I couldn't have the rank General in my name. Of course, it's a milsim unit. And I just remember playing CSGO with my buddy, and he was like, hey, name yourself Esdesu. You won't. No balls. I did. And I still have the name like 7 years later.
Oh, there you go. It stuck with you. Stuck with you ever since there. Pretty much Desu Bean from Kaio. Kaio on hand. Technical cool Mitsu. Technical cool Mitsu, bro. What? I'm just looking at it. I was like, interesting. But yeah, if you guys have any questions you want to ask Desu on hand, feel free to ask him right away. Feel free to ask him right away in case you want to get a chance to know him a little bit more.
Something embarrassing. I want it to get embarrassing.
They said it, not me. They said not me. On hand. I will say while they're coming up with questions on hand, for the most part, we're typing them up. I will say I have one more question to ask you. That being, let me see here. That being pretty much what was your first, I will ask, when we were talking about anime on hand, what was actually the first anime that kind of got you into it, for the most part? Like, what did you grow up with?
The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. That was the first anime I watched.
Ah, I got you. I feel bad just because anytime we're talking about anime, it's like, damn, I grew up with like the golden age of Adult Swim and everything. I never got a chance to watch like too many of like
that too. Yeah.
I grew up with that before I ever got a chance to see anything else on hand, for what can be asked.
I mean, that's what probably got a lot of us in, watching like Naruto, Bleach, stuff like that. Cowboy Bebop, bunch of stuff on Adult Swim, after we were watching like Cartoon Network during the day. And think that's actually like the first online anime that I watched. Besides like the stuff that aired on TV, it was The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. I remember I watched a bunch of it, and the Endless 8 episode confused my little brain so much. I didn't understand it until like years later when I was like, oh, it's stuck in a time loop. I thought the website was bugged or something, and it kept playing the same episode over and over again. I was like, oh, huh?
I get you.
I ended up skipping forward, and I realized that I lost plot doing that. And I was like, no.
No, I got you. I got you on here.
I did it bad.
It's all good. Hey, at least you're able to go back to rectify that. Even if you did, like, know certain things beforehand, hey. But that's the thing, when it comes to spoilers, I don't really... Like, if you spoil anything for me, it's like, I don't really care too much. Like, it's like one of those things, like, if somebody... I'm pretty sure if somebody spoils anything for you, you don't take kindly to it. At all.
If it's something I'm interested in, definitely it's not something I'm happy with.
I get you. Kaiochu has a question for you. First off, they said, well, here's what they said. I am heavy and hard to pick up, but backwards I am not. What am I?
I'm heavy and hard to pick up, but backwards I am not. What am I? I dump truck ass. That's my final answer.
That's probably was the answer on hand. Now that I had to think about it on hand. Yep, they said yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is an acceptable answer. Pretty much. God. Hell of a riddle. Hell of a riddle on hand if I ever heard one, jeez.
That was the best. That's the first riddle I've ever gotten right.
Hey. And also that riddle answer is a ton. Nice pun, I like that. I like puns. Like puns on hand here. But,
Oh, not. Okay.
Roughhouse Jake.
That's crazy.
Roughhouse Jake has a question asking, what is something new you like to try with your current friend group, Desu?
I can't answer that question.
Understandable. Understandable. Have a nice day. I mean, I'm pretty... Good lord.
I can't answer that question.
That's fine. That is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine on hand. Like, if it's between you and your group, that's fine. I'll leave that where it is. I don't know.
Do you have any impromptu questions for me?
Impromptu questions? Oh, well, Rough Jake asked how much you love the homies. Besides that,
this much.
That much. That much in general. But I do have one impromptu question on hand, if I can think off the top of my head. That being, okay, what's your favorite kind of game style on hand that you mentioned co-op and everything, but if you ever had something that you had to do single player or something on hand, what would be that style?
What if I had to have something that was single player? Definitely the Monster Hunter formula hits great because it's just constant boss fights. It's really fun.
Have you played recently?
Other than that, Rise?
Yep.
I have, yes.
Okay.
It is very fun. Other than that, I like very moddable games. I like the creative freedom with that. And that'd be another thing. It's like I'm very much an advocate for giving more games mod support because it increases their playability near infinitely. So my stupid ass can sit here and put like 900, 1,000 hours into a game if it has good mod support. For example, like Arma. So like I have almost 1,000 hours in Arma. Because all the different workshop mods and stuff like that you can put in scenarios and a bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Like I enjoy mods like
just
that.
Things that are very modifiable.
Yeah, there you go. Like once you be able to have some things modifiable on hand, you could definitely do it. Kaio asks, if you could travel anywhere in the world with no limitations, where would you want to visit?
Where would I want to visit with no limitations? Does that have to be on this world?
Do you know any other worlds besides Earth?
There's the moon, there's Mars.
I mean, I mean, if it's habitable on hand, I mean, I'd say go for it.
Space, I love space.
I was just
But anywhere here that I would have to try to go, I'd like to go to the TwitchCon or something once. I know it's like a very lame answer, but I've just never really left my area of the world. I've never really gone out to meet friends and stuff, and I was actually gonna do that for the first time in like 2020. I had funds saved up. I had my vacation planned from work. I was like, I'm very scared, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on a plane for the first time. I'm going to hang out with my friends. And then COVID said, no, stay home. Stop breaking out of your shell. And it just crammed me back in and said, no, you're staying home.
Well, put it this way. Pretty much optimistic-wise, put it this way. That gives you more time to be able to save up a little bit more ahead, just in case if there's something you might like.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Save up on hand a little bit.
Get another job, though.
But no,
step number one is getting another job.
I will say, if you ever do go to TwitchCon or anything, no matter where it is or so, let me ask you this. Have you ever flown before?
No, I've never flown before.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, I feel like being on an airplane would be kind of scary. But at the same time, at one point, I was actually pretty interested in becoming a helicopter pilot.
That's an interesting occupation.
Don't ask me the concept between that. I'm also terrified of driving cars.
I mean, let me put.
I don't have my license yet.
Well, here's the thing. My best advice for you on hand, especially with like driving a car on hand for the most part, is that. Okay, out of curiosity, wherever you do you have like a back road or like a place where you can actually like a parking lot or something that you can try to experiment and drive with?
I could find one.
I mean, if you ever do or so, I recommend for the most part, especially driving wise, just like take your time getting used to what you're driving with, like be it manual, stick shift, or just kind of like getting familiar with what you got to work with. And once you get comfortable with that or so, especially with like trying to drive a certain speed on hand or so, you'll be in full control of what you can do here. It is nervous, especially when there's a lot of cars around, but the thing is too, as long as you take your time with what you're doing and just kind of like, you know, assess a certain situation, you're good. Now, for planes or anything, I recommend listening to music or something. Just kind of like make sure you don't go bored, or sleep. Sleep's always an option. Sleep's always an option. It's just you got to make sure to rotate that neck a few times once you get off the plane. So.
True.
So.
I think with my fear of driving, it doesn't help that I had an insurance job before, where I would type up police reports on traffic accidents and stuff. And writing up people's deaths is not very,
it's not pleasant.
For fears.
Not very pleasant on hand.
Yeah, there's that. There's personal family issues. Why driving is also really scary. And also, I just don't really like getting yelled at, and I'm scared if I fuck up like a traffic common courtesy, or I fuck up driving a bit, I'm just worried about people behind me fucking yelling at me.
I got you.
I'm like, nah, I don't want that to happen.
Well, just all I can tell you is just take it one step at a time. Take one step at a time and do it at your own pace. Once you do it at your own pace or so, you know, you'll feel more comfortable once you gradually get into it.
Yeah, that's what everyone keeps telling me. It's like, as long as you just start doing it, like, it'll get easier as you do it.
Bit by bit, little by little.
I just need to find that first step.
There you go.
Or do it. I need to take the first step.
I do have like 3 other questions here, so let me go ahead. Actually, no. Oh no, it's actually 4 questions. Hold on a second. I got you. From Roughhouse Jake asking if you could have one Pokemon as a pet, what would it be?
Porkyman.
Porkyman. Fiction. They said fictional too, so either or.
Fuck Pokemon. Sorry, I sneezed. My bad.
I got you. Kaio asked, if you can have one superpower, what would you picture and why? What would you pitch and why?
If I had one superpower.
What would you pick and why? Never mind. It's pick. I misread that. My bad. You're good. I misread it so bad. My brain just said someone else.
There's a treasure chest on my head. Sorry, that's on my end probably.
Yeah, good.
This looks so cute to me. If I had it's literally just sitting right between my ears. That's crazy. If I had to pick a superhero or a superpower, there's so many things you can do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be something very beneficial for you. I mean,
Okay, sorry, my head went empty, and that just made me think of a superpower. If my head goes empty, I just turn invisible.
Oh, there you go. That works. Just basically all you gotta do is
Empty.
yeah, you could just basically do that thing from like one of the Vines. It was just basically look at somebody, just do this, and then just disappear. Peace. And they're gone. Let's see here. If you could drive anything, Desu, why is it a forklift? From one Yuri.
Because I'm forklift certified, baby.
Hey.
I hear that gets you girls.
Good lord. I mean, if it does, it does. I mean, then again, it would be pretty interesting where basically you got to go pick up somebody from work and you just see somebody drive a forklift right by, be like, I'm here and I'm your Uber driver.
Get on the forks.
Get on the forks. Let's see here. Cindy Supreme pretty much has one question. What?
What?
And I pretty much know what they're gonna say. I know exactly what they're gonna say.
Hey, what?
That's probably what it is. I almost thought they were gonna say chicken butt. I was waiting for. Yep.
Yeah,
Well, Caillou said it. Never mind. Caillou said it before it was Cindy. There you go. Good lord.
But why? Chicken thigh.
Why chicken thigh? Fox God has asked, favorite cheese?
Pepper jack, hands down.
Oh yeah, especially on like Philly cheesesteaks. Those are really good. Or paninis, actually. If you get a really good panini that's like a spice rack, that works well.
Goes good on just about anything.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else for the most part. And Caillou has asked, favorite food?
Favorite food? I like food, yes, thanks.
Okay, when in doubt.
Actually, today I had Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. Actually, no. They weren't Philly cheesesteak, they were brisket cuts. With anjou dip. And, shredded cheese. So they're kind of like Philly cheesesteaks, but it's just a brisket.
Good God. No, it's just like
roast beef.
No, it's like, no, it's really good. No, it's really good you say that. Damn, I gotta have to drink my entire coffee down so that way I don't get hungry. Jeez.
Yep.
Let's see.
I actually ate it just for you called me up for the interview.
Hey, there you go. Hey, at least you're
couple sandwiches.
Yeah, going in full stomach on hand. So, but yeah, I believe. I don't think. Past that, I don't have any questions off the top of my head.
I would love to try. If I'm gonna make a question for myself. It's like, what kind of foods would I like to try? I would definitely like to try Korean barbecue. I've never had it. I hear that's like a religious thing when it comes to going to TwitchCon, is that you have to have Korean barbecue. I like to have genuine ramen. That sounds really good. I would like to try. What is it? Is it like a Chicago style pizza? Like genuine Chicago pizza?
I've actually.
Because I've had pizza from New York and it's really good.
I mean, New York pizza is not bad. It's just I've always had conflicting thoughts about a Chicago style pizza just because of how they got it layered. They put the cheese first before sauce. It's like, why?
That is a little bit backwards, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of ass backwards on it.
Don't they tell you that you have to you have to cup it? You have to like fold it sideways?
Yeah, it's kind of like
eat it. Get the.
It's kind of like a. Almost nacho style or so. Yeah. It's kind of like almost nacho style, otherwise, where basically you fold it in just to put like guacamole in it. In this case, you basically fold it in just so you can keep like the certain like stuff in, like pizza sauce and everything in it. It's like, God. Good. But yeah, trust me, if you ever try Korean barbecue,
there's so many food I'd be open to try, especially now that recently I've started to learn how to cook, and cooking is so much fun. I'm gonna go on a tangent here.
Yep.
And I tried cooking before, and I had a terrible experience with it. I tried to do the simplest thing, which was like scramble an egg, right? I got the temperature wrong, and for 15 minutes I sat there cooking that egg until it turned gray. My mom got actually disgusted with me, and she told me to fucking throw it away, and that crushed my ego for the longest time. I tried it again, and I fucking burnt the egg. And I was like, oh my god, I'm terrible at this. It's eggs, it's the easiest thing you can make. Not even gonna count the first time, or not the first time, one time I tried to make ramen and I forgot the water. I stuck it in the microwave and it fucking...
Oh, it's gonna stuck to the...
caught on fire.
Oh, jeez. Jesus. I was about to say, were you trying to make it like a scramble or just like sunny side?
History with cooking.
Were you trying to make scramble or sunny side?
Oh, I tried to scramble it.
Okay. Interesting. Well,
But,
I mean, first...
as of recently, I've tried cooking again, and I've had great success. I've made really good food. Now I make me an omelet almost every morning when I wake up, and I just kind of throw whatever the hell I want into it, and it's fucking delicious. I've started actually cooking my ramen on stovetop instead of microwave, and the taste difference is so much different whenever you can throw your own ingredients in it and spices while it's cooking. I've opened my eyes, my little baby eyes on cooking, and I love it.
I mean, small mistakes can be made, but once you kind of learn from those or something, hey, it just like, you know, it's like a stepping stone. You go all the way up, little by little. And then you become great success at it.
You find success.
There you go. There you go. That's the thought process. Akula is going to ask you this, saying, explain the thought process behind your character's design.
Behind my character's design? Are you talking about, like...
I think they mean this, but I'm not sure. Do you mean, like... Do you mean the VRC character, or...
The clothing? The clothing, I actually had no say in. My friend, whenever I first got this model, it had completely different clothes on it. And it was, like, just a t-shirt, some, like, cut-off jeans, some jorts, if you will. Stuff like that. And my friend took a look at the model and just went, give me your Unity project real quick. And I was like, oh, okay. I give it to them. The next day, they're like, okay, I made you a new outfit. And this is what it was. Like, they just randomly just made me a whole different set of clothes. When it comes to, like, all this shit, it's kind of a staple of being, you know, having animal ears in VRChat now, so...
Yeah, it's kind of a trend for it.
And also, white hair is kind of a turn-on, so, you know, simple things.
Yeah, I get you. The only
If you're gonna be a waifu in VRChat, why not go after your own taste, right?
No, I got you. I got you.
Become the waifu.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll keep my top hat. I'm good. Like my top hat.
Your top hat is very sexy, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Very good choice. I'm glad you have a taste for the finer things in life.
It's simple things. Simple things on him makes it. But I'm seeing right here. I don't think we're getting more questions. Off the top of my head, and I don't think if anybody's got one last question on him, feel free to answer it. If you can. If not, I almost want to say here. Just trying to make sure to keep an eye on the time here for that. Just trying.
Got this, homie.
No. Okay. Oh. Okay, I guess last one from
cocktail.
The last one from Kool-Aid then. Favorite cocktail.
Oh, now I have now discovered my new favorite drink, and this was dangerous because it completely masks the taste of any of the alcohol in it. But I made Jack Blacks, so it's you know, roughly like a third a glass. I'm using like a little alcohol glass, so it's like a half cup or whatever.
I got you.
It's about a third of that is whiskey. You give it a nice, good old healthy splash of amaretto. You put some sweet and sour in it, and then you splash some soda on it. And it literally just tastes like a more citrusy soda, kinda. But it's got amaretto and Jack Daniels in it. And a decent amount of it, but because of the other stuff, it completely masks the flavor of it. And I completely lost count of this past weekend because I made them for the first time. I don't know how many I drank. I know I didn't have a good time afterwards.
Yeah.
I got sick. But The best thing is the next day the drink still tastes really good, so I didn't lose the taste of it.
Good God.
But my drinks, besides like the Jack Daniels is fine. But everything else, like all the mixer stuff, is down at the very bottom of their bottles. So I was like, oh, I had like 8.
Good Lord.
8 glasses.
I
had so much.
No. Hey, at least it could have been worse. You could have been trying to like catch up with certain people on hand and only have like a bottle of Fireball whiskey you've never drunk in quite a while, and try to drink like almost 20 shots in less than 40 minutes, and then basically wake up the next morning throwing up 3 times. Jesus. Oh, wait.
Like just poor decision making.
Yeah, that's my fault. But Omega wanted to ask, which Amarillo? Armedo? Amaretto.
It's. I could go check if you want to give me like 2 seconds.
Sure, if you want to check, go ahead.
It's time to go fast. I'll go find it.
Well, and while they check on hand, I'm pretty sure Omega, it might be like a good concoction of it. Then again, I'm not much of a drink mixer. I just kind of like keep it simple. So yeah, give them a second. They're gonna check it real quick, and then after that, so the barkeep asking the big questions. No, I know you got barkeeper skills on hand. I remember, Omega. Welcome back.
It's like Diamerto? Diamore. It's Diamore.
Yep, Diamore. Yep.
Diamore.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Omega was just asking just because he kind of like specializes in barkeep and stuff. So he was just kind of curious about it.
Oh. Yeah.
Yep, so.
But that's my new favorite drink. I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually found it in an old cookbook from 2002. And it was like some restaurant. It's like some Hollywood restaurant. And one of their cocktails is called Meat Jack Black. And I was like, that looks good. That doesn't look too hard to make. And I make it. I'm like, oh, this is delicious.
Diamore?
I hate whiskey, but God, this tastes so good.
I'm pretty sure that's what they said, Omega. I think they said Diamore.
Yeah.
Diamore.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. But yeah. Diamore. But yeah, I will probably have that as the last questions for right now. But I will say, for right now, guys, that will be episode 46 of Shoot the Breeze.